Hi, welcome back to the Lamrim. And we see this beautiful picture here of a mother with her baby. And here's the real story, okay? Don't forget, we're telling the story of the nun named Blue Lotus or Indigo Lotus because Pabongko Rinpoche wants to illustrate that as we go through life, things change, relationships change. We never know what was going on before or after this life, okay? That's the theme behind this story. And we went to the Sutra of the Wise and Foolish, and we found the story, and we're telling the whole story, which is why this Lamrim is taking so many years, okay? Dakyang Kundugyuri Riksikete. I was born into a Kundugyuri. This is a kind of a religious Brahmin family called Wanderers, okay? They're not like Brahmins, but they are a respectable religious Hindu family I was born into. Komo, by the way, Tim means me as a woman, okay? Komo Pamayang Rikche. My parents were of a high caste, and Tsumbe, they were also very religious. Komayang Kundugyurik Chewa. And they found for me another person of the same caste as a husband, okay? Mangdatupa, he was very learned. Rikche Dan Dembashik, he knew the Vedas, okay? He was a Veda master, which is a very desirable husband. Shila Pagmartang, they married me off to him, okay? Ne, de Chumachete, and I became his wife. Chuma means this little one, little lady, and it can mean wife, but it can also mean younger wife if the other person had two wives, okay? Te pu yang yupa kyoto, and we had a child together, okay? Chi kyo gyukse pube oktu komola semchen yupa kyo. Later on, my mother-in-law passed away, and I became Semchen Yupa for $100, Tim. Oh, I hope you can probably see it in the notes. Semchen Yupa. It took me about 10 minutes to figure it out. Semchen Yup. Think of the context. She got married. Nah, forget it. She got pregnant. She got living being haver. It's cute. I said, oh yeah, okay. Senjen Yepa Kirne, she got pregnant. And Kintap, she had servants in the house, helpers in the house. Dilak la dike cheso. And I said to the servants in the house, Como la semchen, I have a semchen. I'm pregnant, okay? Dawa Yang Tsang, and the months are now full, meaning 9 months have passed, or close to 9 months. Du Nyewe, the time is near. Kelte dir Bud Sena, if I give birth to my child here in this house, Sopo, it's a little bit not so clean here, and Mitup, it's not that convenient. So I'm thinking, Ko mo pamai kimdu tsardo, I'm going to go have my child at my parents' home. Komola Lexo, and my house servants told me that's a good idea. Okay, Shesterte. Kyoshuk ni dronkne. So 2 married couples of servants accompanied me. Kyang ne pushi kyang tide, and I took a child with me. And Pama Dupar Sowane, and I went to where my parents lived, to the place where my parents. I went to go to my parents. Lam Che Tsam de Chimba, halfway to their house along the road. Nyalmi Dewagyur, I felt something uncomfortable in my womb. Shing Shiki Trungdu, we stopped at the base of a tree. Nam Che Tsamna, around midnight. Putseso, my child was born, my son was born. Komo Kim Tap Kyang Lok Shik, so now she has 2 boys with her, and the 2 couples. Komo Kim Tap Kyang Lok Shik Nanyewe, one of the couples set up camp nearby where I was having my baby. Semo Dulki Sindo, and they were attacked by snake in the night. Okay, Semo Puna Chang Mitakne. They tried to call out, but no one heard them. Nam Langte, and then the sun came up the next morning. Tena, and I looked at their campsite. Kimda Kyang Dukbe Simbe. I saw that the snake had killed them, poisoned them with poison. Lukyang Shipa Gyoto, and eaten their bodies mostly. Okay. De Sena Komo Kamde, and I passed out from the shock, and I fell down. Okay. Salagyawa, and I ended up on the ground. Pu Chewa Yang, Pa Dulki Sepa. And then the older son that was already there, his father died also, was killed by another snake. And Tongne, Ke Chungde Ngube, I cried out in suffering and weeping. Pu Ngube Ke Komayang Chir Sang. I'm sorry, the boy started crying, and that woke me up. When he saw his father dead, he was crying, and that woke me up. And this larger child, so now I have two kids, right? I have one previous son who walked into the jungle with us to go to my parents' house so I could have the other child, but the other child was born suddenly at night. So I put the older kid on my back. Kur du tok, there's kur again, load on the back. And pu chungani. By the way, that sutra was especially difficult because in this one sentence, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spelling mistakes. Okay. Tok, pu chuma pamba kete. I put the new child on my hip, and weeping as I went, song, song, song. I walked and walked and walked. Lam yang embashikte. And then I got to a sort of a wild part of the forest, desolate part of the forest. Yam Mindul, I couldn't find anyone to help me. There was no other person on the road, and it was passing to a deserted area. Okay, Manyedo, there's Nye that we had to find, right, or to locate. Parna Chuchampa. Parna here means there came a time in the interim, okay, somewhere along the road. Chuchambashi Yute, we came to a great river. Chui Kat Sun misspelled. Yang Chela Sabe, the river was very wide and very deep. Pu Nika Mategne, here's Tekpa as Yana, meaning I didn't have the vehicular capacity to carry both kids. So there's a great ancient use of the word tek, meaning to be able to carry. Nika matek, I couldn't carry both kids across the river. So pu chewani, chui misspelled soro dushak, extremely difficult misspelling. I left the older boy on the near shore. And then I took the younger boy, the newborn, Puchungu Kierte, I carried him. Paro to Kiel means, and I forded across to the other side of the river. Kielne, Chir Chewa Sur Ong Wadan. And then I turned back. This cheer means turn back. And the Chewa Sur Ong means I went back to get the older boy on the near side, okay, who I had left while I would carry the newborn to the other side. She set the newborn on the ground and came back. Puya Maong, Ma, and here it's confusing because this Ma is not Maong, it's Ma-ong. The older boy saw his mother coming, okay? Chui Nandushuk, so he stepped into the river. Okay, Shugne, Chu Kier, and he was carried away by the current. Okay, Komo Nyak Na, and I reached out for him. Top Chungwe Ma sin, misspelled. But I didn't have the power to to hold on to him. I got his arm, but I couldn't keep it on. I couldn't hold on to it, and the river carried him away. Dene cheer paro to chin. Here's paro to chimba in the ancient form, to go to the other side, right? Cheer means I went back. So I turned around and I went back to the far side of the river, okay? Pu chungu yang. Chanki means a coyote or a wolf. Past tense, ate. And I realized the newborn had been eaten by a wolf on the other side of the river. Chak chungze tsam sala nango. And he was reduced to a stain of blood in the soil. Okay, a small puddle of blood in the soil. That's all that was left. Okay, there young kamne misspelled. I started to wander around, in grief. Ring shik lente. After many hours and a few days, sangba. Here's the sang in sangye, which means to become aware. So I came back to my senses. Okay, these are ancient useful words. Okay, sangte, lam de shukte. I got back on the road to my parents' house. Okay, song. I walked. Okay. Kundu gyu komo pamadanyeshin shepashik. Then I ran into a member of the same caste who was a friend of my parents. Okay, the wandering caste. And chene kundu gyu de kyo chinyena dita nyomomba gyo chetina. What's wrong with you, and why have you gotten so nyomomba? What's distressing you? Okay, there's the ancient meaning of nyomo. What's distressing you so badly? Koma kyanjita gepa tam che. So I told him the whole story extensively. Okay, tam means to tell a story, right? Told him the whole story. Kundigyue yang, deyang misspelled. He started to weep also. And komu pame tam jina. And then I said, well, how are my parents doing? And he said, Kyuki pame kim du de par me shore. Your parents' house caught on fire since the last time you heard from them. And pamadam kim kangi mi tamje. Your mother, your father, and everybody in the house was burned to death. Me tiksalo, okay. Shesero. Okay. He told me, all right. When I heard that what happened to my parents, I passed out again and fell to the earth. Okay, sala gelto means I fell to the earth unconscious. Dene kundukyute langte misspelled. Then that person from my same caste picked me up, Kim Dutine, and led me to my house, to my parents' house. Komala Pushin, to his house, and treated me like their own child. That family took me in and treated me like their own kin. Shindukpa, and I started living there with them. Yang kundigyu chiki chumbalangte, and in time another man approached me and we got close and I was married to him. We enjoyed love and pleasure, meaning they had sex, okay? And semjen, I became semjen then. Yeah, I became living being again. Okay. Dawat sangne, when the months were complete, 9 months, right? Pu chungde, I had a child. Child came out. When the child was close to coming out, jungdu nyewana, kimta shengi kim du tsangna pune, I decided I would need some help, so I went to another family's house. Deo to dag put se de, and I gave birth on the floor of their house. Go dam to che, I had made the door fast after I got to their house, because I guess there was nobody at the house. So I went inside, I shut the door and, bolted it, And then I laid down, I had the baby, okay? Go damche. Butsir, okay? There's the word for squeezing sponsors. Okay? I squeezed out the baby. Okay? Tsirne. Kim Tap Chang Chanki Nyete. And the owner of the house came back totally drunk. Okay? Apparently he's a bad guy. He came back to the house totally drunk. Nyete, go dung. He banged on the door. I couldn't get up to open it. So he go chepa mepe because he couldn't open the door. Trete, he got pissed off. And go chak. He smashed the door down. All right. Nang Doong came inside and also beat me. Gave me a good beating. Okay. I just kept giving birth to a child, right? Daki Put says so. I said, look, I just gave birth to a child. Puyang Sete, he killed the child and fried it in a frying pan. Okay, he took the child's body and fried it in a frying pan. Dene, Komo Yang Saurchuk, he tried to get me to eat the child also, the child's flesh also. Puisha Sama, I couldn't do it. Dema Sepe Yang Dek, and because I wouldn't eat the child's flesh, he beat me up again. Nenki Sarchuk, and then he forced the food into my mouth. Forced my own child's flesh into my mouth. Sebe Okto Kim Tap Kyang Song. Then after I had eaten my child, okay, I came back to my senses. Daki Samba. And I thought to myself, Dak Sunam me, I don't have any sunam. Okay, apparently I don't have any good karma at all. Mechin lengeno, my karma's all bad. Nyamni. Kim Tap Porte, I decided to give up the home life and I headed for Varanasi. Varanasi. So I escaped to Varanasi. Okay. You Varanasi Churuna Shing Shiki Trungna Dupale. Outside of Varanasi city, I was sitting at the base of a tree. Chongde Kimtap Shunushik Sat. And there was a young family man of the city who had come out of the city to bury his wife's ashes. His wife had died. Chuma Tsepe means Poa, right? His own wives had died. And Chongke de Chirudu, outside of the city, Chume Rubu Bene, he was burying or hiding the bones of his cremated wife. Kimda de Chuma de la Chakbe, Rubu, he had been very close to his wife. And Rubu Dungna, again, everything misspelled, Mushin Dupale, he was sitting at her graveside crying, okay? And I came upon him, and he saw me and he said, what are you doing here by yourself? Like an Indian woman never is outside by herself in the forest. He said, what are you doing here by yourself? I told him my whole story. Kim that day came and said the cheat day. He took me to the Jetavana. The garden. Yeah, the garden. Sorry, this is not the Jetavana. This is just a general royal park. He took me to the royal park, which is where Buddha hangs out usually. Today, Komala Chuma Chao Shemeni. He said, hey, how about we get married? And you become my wife. I said, well, that would be okay. I don't have a husband. Kyoshu to Dune, we became man and wife. Rimba Manumbar, after not long. Kimdak, my husband, ne ki tap, stricken by disease. Say po, he died. Say pune, they say na yush chuki simbetse kyoshi zawanam kyotse puna. And according to the current customs of that part of India, if the husband died and the wife was still alive, Chumayang Sumba killed Danhenchik to Dur to Juko. What's Dur to remember in Vajrayana? It's a burial ground, right? According to the custom of that part of India, the wife should be buried alive with the husband's body. Okay, right. Which is still, happens. Komayan Deda to the Chugne, so they buried me with him. But after sunset, some grave robbers came to dig and try to see if there's any jewelry on the bodies. Okay, Ongte, Durju, they dug down into where I was, and Durkungi Pumbu Komo Samar, the chief of the robber band, saw that I was alive. Sangwa, okay, still hale and healthy. And Tongwei, they kyang chumar. I became his chumar. He took me as his wife. I don't know how many times now. Ringpa Malumba, okay, before long had passed, Kur Somale, on a robbing trip, Gyalpu Se, the king killed him. He was killed by the king's troops, okay, on a robbing trip. Kundan Namki, Rubu Kurte, Chuko. So his companions took his bones and buried me with them again. Okay, I was buried again with the corpse of my next husband. Torna Shaksam Dupale. I was 3 full days half buried in the burial ground. And at Changi, another wolf came to dig me out, okay? I guess he didn't ask her to be his wife. And then by accident, he dug me out of the grave as well. And I started to think about it. I started to think to myself, misspelled. What did I do in my past life that was so bad that this keeps happening to me? Dinda parlen duma shiwale cheer supagir. And why do I keep getting saved at the last minute? Why do I keep surviving? Nguntuna, in a previous life, Shaki Riki Seishi Ngumbachan Chubni, it appears that a certain prince of the Shakya clan had become enlightened. In this life, okay. Senyang, and they started calling him Buddha, Sangye. Some Shakya prince got enlightened, and people started calling him Buddha, okay. Devadamba Bakyun Kieno, Shedagna. It's supposed to be that he can see all things of past and future. So maybe he can tell me what the hell's going on. I'll go find him and ask him, what did I do? This is all happening to me. Dani de la Katsudro and Yam Samne. I thought, let me go and seek his shelter, Kyamdro. Okay, this is literal meaning of Kyamdro, going for refuge. Gyalpu Gyalchek itself. Then she went to the Jetavana, okay, which is that Shravasti. Yeah, she went to outside the city of Shravasti to the gardens of Prince Jeta. At Selkanda Loksa Soma, I went to that place, Gyangmane, and from a distance, Deshin Shepa Metogi Dombo Gepa Tabu, I saw Lord Buddha, who looked like, from a distance, he looked like a huge flower opening, okay? Karme Nangna Dawa Tawa Tongo. Or you can say he looked like the full moon surrounded by the stars of the galaxy. Okay, very beautiful. From a distance, he looked like that. At that moment, the Buddha was also employing his unstoppable Tokme Asanga wisdom. Daktulwe Tula Bapar Kin. He saw that the time had come, Dula Bap, the time had befallen, that I should be Dulwad, that I should become a disciple. Yeah. Kene Sheng, honorific, he rose from his seat. And como suo, he greeted me. Okay, very beautiful. The scene is very beautiful. I was buck naked because I just got out of the grave. Okay. I was completely naked. Ngotsa, out of ngotsa, right? Out of shame. With my hand, I covered my breasts. Kapne, I covered my breasts. And I just sat where I was because I was afraid to stand and approach him. And bad news, we're going to stop the story there because you will have to come back to find out the rest of the story. Okay, so this is like those TV shows where, you have to come back for the rest of the story.
Like a good book.
Yeah, like a good book. Okay, so that happens to be, where we should split the story, and we'll pick it up in the next class. But don't forget why we're talking about this story is that, from lifetime to lifetime, here's a nun who became an arhat at the feet of Lord Buddha himself. She was trained by the first nun of all, Prajapati. And so we're talking about you never know who somebody is. Okay, right now she's a naked, crazy woman who just crawled out of a grave. Okay, and what's going to happen? Find out next time. See you then.